Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Debbie from the Inspiration Station. I thank you for joining me again today for this YouTube hop using the Creating with Sketches bundle by Allison Davis. This month we are using two-page sketch number 4, and these are the photos that I'll be using. These are obviously from the birth of my granddaughter in the spring, and I will be using mostly the Echo Park. I have It's a Girl and Welcome Baby Girl as the paper and embellishment lines. And then these two papers came from a paper pad. I'm not sure where they came from, but that's what I'll be using for papers. I've got some embellishments here. I did pull out some things that I want to use. Some of the cut aparts. These are some of the stickers I've pulled from the sticker book. Extra frame, and then these die cuts that I probably will use. Those came from Sizzix 664580. This is, I don't know what they're calling it. I don't know what the title is, but anyway, those are what I've cut out so far. So I'm going to get started. This will be a two-page sketch, which I am not in the habit of doing, but I'm going to stick pretty closely to the sketch in general, so it'll be 2 pages. So because I am doing a 2-page layout and the sketch calls for a number of vertical lines, I did want to keep the pages together so that they don't shift on me while I'm lining things up. So I just use a little bit of washi tape on the back of those pages. This is the main piece of paper that I'll be using on the page. It's sort of like the base, but I am building it on this white cardstock. So I've cut these 2 pieces. I don't remember the measurements, but one side is a little bit bigger than the other. And as usual, I do struggle to get things lined up, so my head will appear in the frame probably a couple of times as I'm lining things up, and I apologize for that. So the left side of the page is vertical stripes using the different pattern papers, and the right hand side will be using horizontal strips. I have to think horizontal, vertical, sometimes I get confused. Then the same pages or same stripes that are on the right are going to end up peeking out on the left hand side, so it looks as if those stripes are going underneath the left hand page. So those were little pieces. I think they were like 1.5 inches long. So I ended up putting those through my Xyron just to get them. I thought it would be easier to do that. I am using my T-square ruler, trying to get things straight the best I can. Sometimes lining up all these little strips is a little bit difficult, trying to get them all straight. I don't remember if the sketch included a space between them. I think it didn't. But I really liked having that white peek out from the base page. I think it gives it a little more definition, a little more character. If I was lining them up side by side, I would have inked the edges just so that it kind of gives it a more finished look. But because this is such a light colored page, I didn't want to use ink. Now this piece here is going to be the base of my photos, and it's just a spacer right now. I needed to see where everything was going to line up once I put them down, and then put those little strips that are on the left. I needed to have them lined up where they needed to be. That piece of white paper there will end up. I think I end up flipping it over and using it as the base for my photos. I did try to speed some of this up, but without actually cutting a lot of it. I'm sorry, you have to watch. It's a little tedious. And again, I have trouble getting things straight, so you'll see me pull them off and stick them back down a couple of times. I really need to learn to embrace the imperfection of this, but oh yeah, so these little edges didn't line up perfectly, and apparently I am a lot more type A than I realized, because I needed to use an X-Acto knife to cut off the teeny tiny little strips that weren't lined up perfectly. I just wanted them to all be straight. Okay, so then I am going over to the right-hand side of the page, and I wish my T-square was a little bit longer because I have to go across the 12 inches and then line it up. And in the sketch, these horizontal pieces are not all the same length. So what I did was when I cut them, when I decided where they were going to go, according to the sketch, I wrote the length on them, so you can kind of see that on a couple of them. I cut them to the size and then I just erased the markings. But otherwise, I would have been looking back at the sketch over and over again, trying to remember which piece was which length. And it really didn't end up being an issue because when I embellish, you'll see I kind of covered up all the ends, so you can't really tell that they were all different. So that may not have been, worth my time, but whatever. So yes, here's that white piece of paper again. That's what I'm going to build my photos on. Now I had already cut down a couple of the photos. I think they're 3x3, and the ones that are unmatted are 3 1/4. So that's why there's that big white border on a couple of them. And as I was playing with those photos, I was really struggling to get them to, I don't know, look right. When I had them like this, I had them sort of in the correct order, but that one on the lower left, I'm going to end up changing that. I'm going to end up, I think, matting that one too, because I think it just looked unbalanced. Now, this was a great idea I saw on Christine Harden's page, her YouTube video, where she used these little 4x6 photo albums, these cheap little things, to put all of her pages of, what do you call those? Dimensionals or foam strips and foam dots. And I thought that was such a great idea. So you can just flip through and find the ones that you want. So I did copy that from Christine Harden. I couldn't decide between the two cut-aparts that I had there, and I really wanted to use them both. So I ended up fussy cutting that banner out of one of them and laying it on top of the circle one. So these were the two main photos, and I did matte the one of the baby. I'll end up covering that up with the frame because I really wanted to get the frame on there. According to the sketch, the one on the right was matted and the one on the left was not. But you'll see after I put the frame down on the one of the baby, I end up matting the one of Dad carrying the baby out of the hospital. So it just didn't look right unmatted. So yeah, I finally got to use some chipboard. Here I am matting the other photo. Get that trimmed down. And we'll glue those on. So then it's time to start building the embellishments. I don't remember, I think there may have been stars or hearts on the sketch, probably hearts. But I'm going to be using those stickers that I took out of the sticker book. I don't use a lot of stickers, and I have all these sticker books, so I really wanted to use a lot of them up, and I thought this was the perfect place to do it. So I'm going to just put them all on the ends of those strips, and again, it makes it hard to tell that they were different lengths, but they lined up pretty well. And I'm sorry the bottom of the page is a little off the screen. Hopefully you can see everything. Those were the sprigs that I cut using that Sizzix die, and I'm just going to tuck those in behind several of the stickers. I liked the color that it added. I love the stickers, but there really wasn't a whole lot of that minty green color on them. So I thought by using the sprigs from Sizzix that would help bring that color out a little bit more. I decided to build another little cluster over here on the left-hand page. I think it just needed something to balance out. And I did put some of those sprigs up on the left under that cut apart. And here I'm just using some of the small stickers. They were like little buttons and things. Just, again, trying to use them up. Some of them I ended up taking off in the end, but it was an effort to use up what I had, because I don't always use all those little tiny stickers. All right, as I finish this up, I do unfortunately go a little off screen here, and I apologize for that, but I'm gluing down the die pieces, the sprigs that I cut using the dies. They're very detailed, and a tape runner would not work with that. So I'm just using some liquid glue to stick those down. The last thing I need to do on this page is make the title, and I will be using the Pink Fresh Alpha that I pulled out at the beginning of the video, and making my own dickers, as Nicole calls them, DIY thickers, by layering up 3 or 4 layers of white cardstock and making them thick so that they're more like chipboard and helps them stand out some. In the photos at the end, you will see the change that I made to that photo on the lower left. It was after I finished recording the video, so you'll see it in the stills. All right, so this is the final layout. I'm thinking I may go back and add a few enamel dots to this. I just didn't feel like going and finding them at the moment. But yeah, so I like the way that it came out. I stuck very closely to the sketch. In fact, I pretty much followed it exact, except Allison had hearts coming down at the end of these strips. But other than that, it's pretty much the exact sketch that she used. So hope you enjoyed it. I thank you very much for joining me today and spending some time with me. Don't forget, there are other creators on this hop, and they are all listed below. So please go down and check them out. Visit their site, give them some love, and enjoy what they have to offer. In the meantime, I will see you in the next video.